Today's gospel picks up where last Sunday's gospel left off, with the parables. We are at an early part in the Gospel of Mark. Jesus has already chosen his 12 apostles. He's driven out demons, cured people of illnesses, and has forgiven the sins of a paralytic. These actions have concerned the Pharisees and scribes who wish to do away with him. Last Sunday's gospel dealt with Jesus teaching in parables to the crowds, but explaining his message in private to his disciples. So today, he makes a challenging statement. Let us cross to the other side. Now, if we understand the parables on a surface level, we can see that Jesus knows a little bit about seeds, a little bit about agriculture, but parables are also used to understand the teaching on a deeper level. On the surface level, when Jesus says, let us go to the other side, cross to the other side, Jesus and his disciples are to cross the Sea of Galilee. But on a deeper level, they are crossing to the other side. What does this mean? They are entering a transition. Remember the ancient curse. May you live in a transition. What happens? They take Jesus in the boat just as he was. What was he? A teacher of parables. They encounter another storm, not uncommon. People in biblical times, and even today, respect the sea. Check out today's passage from the book of Job. The disciples are terrified and scream, "Teacher, do you not care that we are perishing?" Jesus wakes and says, "Quiet, be still." Now, the evangelist Mark states that Jesus addressed the wind and the sea. But did he also address those who were fearful? The disciples, Mark says, were filled with great awe. The actual Greek translation is, the disciples feared a great fear, as their response reflects the power of Jesus. So what are we to learn from this gospel? To pray to God for more rain or less rain, or to pray to God for snow if we want to go skiing. Perhaps the invitation for us is to treat this incident we experience today as a living parable. The disciples cry, "Do you not care that we are perishing?" That cry is similar to what many would cry in a crisis, "Where are you, God? Especially if you're so good." Perhaps we could go back to the Garden of Eden, where the Genesis reading tells us, where God asked the man who had eaten of the tree, "Where are you?" Now that was 2 Sundays ago. Remember, God asked the question first, "Where are you?" So we encounter Jesus being fully divine in his calming the storm. We encounter Jesus being fully human when he asks those in the boat, "Why are you terrified? Do you not yet have faith?" Note, this is still early in Mark's gospel. Chapter 4. The disciples are following Jesus. They are learning specifically what discipleship requires, and the disciples will face conflict throughout their lives. Will we, as disciples, will we realize that Jesus is with us even in the storms of life? Now, last Sunday, Father Steve spoke of our dad being told by our grandmother that she prayed that he would be a priest in answer to her prayers. Well, the prayers were answered in God's time. However, this past week, on June 19th, there was another anniversary in our family. It was the 27th anniversary of Dad's death. I can remember receiving the news of his death with a phone call from Father Steve. Fittingly, the gospel we heard today was on the Sunday which followed Dad's death 27 years ago. And we also proclaimed this gospel at Dad's funeral mass. Life has its storms, its challenges, its transitions. For us, the big transition, the final transition, is the cross, when we finally cross to the other side. Through it all, Christ is with us.